Hello, everyone. Welcome to Time Management Tuesday, where Megan and I were talking about caffeine before we went live. No, it's true, though, just to hop on, you know what? This is Time Management Tuesday. So this actually plays into the fact that when we're tired and we're running high and we're like trying to just get a quick fix, we go to caffeine. And I go to caffeine too. And Megan was saying before we went live how she probably has to have less caffeine. And guess what? So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually said no caffeine, which I'm like, I got to wean myself because that's too big of a headache. I tried right away and I was like, nope, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. You know what? It does hurt. But yeah, my blood pressure's been running a little high. So I'm like, also have to cut back on caffeine. But in the meantime, we wanted to come live today and talk about managing client expectations. I think this is one of the biggest complaints, obstacles, problems that we're having in a couple of industries right now, especially interior design industry. But I will tell you across the board, managing client expectations is key to running a smooth business and managing your time. Right? Because when you're not managing the client's expectations, guess what happens? The client ends up taking over, completely taking over all your time with texting, messaging, calling, upset, right? So it's like, how do you manage a client expectation in a way that helps you manage your time? So do you find this to be a problem too, Megan?
Very much so. Yep.
Yeah. It's like, it's definitely a constant battle. So one of the things is to make sure that you understand your client expectation versus the reality, and that you can educate them right from the beginning whether their expectation is on target, whether it's correct for your business.
Right.
Right? Everybody wants everything yesterday is the bottom line.
Right. Well, and also part of that is like, you might assume their expectations, like you might think you know their expectations. So getting super clear on what theirs are versus what you're willing to deliver, it's two-sided, because I always have an expectation for what I expect my clients' expectations to be. And 10 times out of 10, I'm wrong.
Interesting. So you expect, like, if someone's messaging you, they expect an answer right away. And you're like, I need to give them an answer
like,
right
even
away.
at the beginning of a project, like the timeline, I have my own idea because I have all of this past experience with all of my other clients that kind of like, okay. And I put them in buckets, whether I know it or not. I'm putting them in buckets of like, oh, I think they want this super fast. And I'm like killing myself trying to get something fast. And like, wait a second. Did they ever actually request that? Or is that me making an expectation on their behalf? And I'm like, oh man, back up, time out. I need to go have that conversation with them. I didn't have the expectation conversation with that client. I need to go back and do that.
That's a really good point, because sometimes I'll message people and I'll say, when you have a chance, could you do me a favor, whatever. And they'll come back with, is it okay if I do this on Monday? I'm like, oh yeah, no, I just totally did a brain dump on you. I didn't expect an answer right now, like,
yeah.
Right. So understanding when your client's just doing a brain dump because it's the weekend and they don't want to forget and they don't have a good way of keeping track and then implementing it on Monday, like me, I'll just like spew it out when I think of it, and everyone else tries to scramble and I have to go, no, it's okay. I don't expect you to jump. Like, you can wait. So it's true. Understanding their expectation, not answering that question for them, but actually just asking, right?
Right.
And I have this to you, I'm going to have this to you by Friday. It's going to take some time. Okay, thank you, right? It's that easy rather than getting ourselves all in a tizzy. Do you have the hiccups? That's funny. I thought I saw a little jump there. Sorry to point that out to everybody. Megan has the hiccups. We got to make it fun too. Okay, so gap in the reality of the deliverable versus the client expectations. Let's just clean that up, because tip number 2 is clean it up early, not after the client is already dissatisfied. So part of your initial conversations when you're going into a contract situation with a client is to make sure they understand your timeline. And it's not just your timeline, it's an accurate timeline for the service level that you provide.
This is a really easy area for a big, big win, because managing expectations is the most forgotten about part of customer service. And so if you're on the front end of it and you give them this gorgeous timeline, even if you just have a template for a timeline that you give your clients, or having, like, this might sound really, really dumb, like super dumbing down. So I have an e-commerce website, right? And this applies here too, though, because I will follow up with like, hey, thank you so much for your order. What's going to happen is tomorrow morning, we print out all of our orders at the same time and we sort through them by category. And yours is going to be in this bucket, and we're going to pull ... And then we're going to put it in an envelope and we're going to mail it to you by USPS. And now all of this stuff sounds like, well, yeah, I just assume that. We get more repeat business on those emails than any other source. Because people are like, oh, they feel so well taken care of, even if I'm just stating the obvious. Stating the obvious manages the expectations while at the same time being a huge customer service win.
That is huge. That is huge. And we were getting, like, even of our contracts that we sell, we were getting a ton of, I didn't get it yet. I just ordered and I didn't get it yet. So all we had to do is add a couple of sentences or a sentence to the landing page that said, please give it a couple of hours for our system to deliver it to your inbox, and check your junk and your spam to make sure, right? And yeah, that expectation, laying it out right in the beginning of what they can expect, stopped a lot of the inquiry emails that we were getting and all that. Oh, there's a problem, I haven't gotten it yet. So whatever you can do to really, in a concise manner, explain to the client what will happen next, it's going to stop a lot of the customer complaining, because they don't understand your process, right?
There will always be buyer's remorse. Regardless, there is always an element of buyer's remorse. In the way that you assuage that, it could be terrible buyer's remorse, or it could just be this tiny bump, and you're responsible for them from going like, what do I do? I don't know what's happening, what's out there, it's mute, and just making it a little dip of, I don't know if I should have done, look how, I'm so well taken care of. Okay, I'm in good hands.
That's right. That's right. You have to look at the client journey as an emotional journey, not just they ordered, I'm delivering, right? What is going on in their head when they order something from you, when they hire you, and then what's happening emotionally after that? And where in the process can you calm their emotions and make them know that they're well taken care of? It's all key to managing the client expectations. And this is all related to your time management. If those of you who are watching or watch on replay, why is this related to your time management? Because if you don't have satisfied customers, they just email and message you constantly, which sucks up your time.
It's preemptive.
It is preemptive, absolutely. It's so important. So realistic deadlines is the other thing, right? So I love working with business owners who are like, yeah, but the client said they need it in a week. It's important because, I'm like, well, they need it in a week or they want it in a week. There's a difference. And then are you trying to then rush your process in order not to do it well, which will cause you not to do it well, just in order to satisfy the client? You are much better off saying, unfortunately, that's an unrealistic time frame for me to get that done in the manner I would like to get it done. And here's the real timeline. Every time we let clients push us to try to force us to do things that are not within our comfort zone, our timeline, our availability, our ability, period, to do what they want, well, we are setting ourselves up for a dissatisfied client. Every time, right? I need to talk to you yesterday, right? I need to talk to you today, but I have to talk to you today. If you have no time slots on your calendar, you cannot talk to them today. And what people do instead is like, okay, well, I can talk to you at 6:30 tonight. And then that's outside of the way you want to run your business. Sometimes you make exceptions, but as a rule, you want to keep it where you're giving people realistic deadlines, timelines, and expectations right from the beginning. Does that make sense?
I have this discussion with myself about my own boundaries all the time. I have to reestablish my boundaries over and over and over again, and it gets better every time. But it's definitely helpful. I can feel the weeks where I let it slide. This is one of those weeks where I let it slide because I was out all week last week. And I know, like, in order to manage my anxiety, I need to get my boundaries back in place.
Yeah, I mean, me too. It's almost a recommitment to my boundaries that I've set up for good reason, right? It's not like you set up your boundaries randomly just to set boundaries. You set them for reasons, right? Physical, emotional, balance in your life. And if you don't recommit to your boundaries every day, you quickly lose sight of them.
Yep.
Right? So right away, making sure your boundaries, not using that word necessarily, are relayed to your client is really important. You want to make sure they understand they will not get an answer in 24 hours. It will be 72 hours. The simplest example of that would be, please fill out this contact form and I will contact you within. Make sure it's realistic, 48 hours, 72 hours. But if you say 48 or 72, then make sure you're able to do it or someone on your team is able to do it.
It's a real opportunity for a win.
It is, because every time you break your word to a client, your word, I'm not saying delays that are out of your control, but every time you break your word to a client, you are changing the way that client feels about you. Every time you say you're going to be there at 2 o'clock and you don't show up till 2:30 with no good reason, right? Every time you say something to a client and you don't follow through with it, they are losing trust in you. And that's just not a way, that's just not a good way to move forward in a client relationship. And that's my story.
Make it a win. Make it a win.
Make it a win. Speak to your clients early on in the process. Have it in a introductory package or welcome package, whatever profession you're in, that they understand what to expect. Like for me, my one-on-one clients, they get Voxer support, which is a walkie-talkie app. Monday through Thursday, I answer as soon as I'm available. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I answer, it's a bonus. And we say that in every time we send an email about, don't forget you can get Nancy on Voxer, but remember, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if she answers, is a bonus. So they know that if I don't, I'm not going to end up with a dissatisfied client. Or if I do, it's because they haven't read what I've sent them, not because I haven't communicated it. So simple. Simple, but yet people are so afraid to be honest. If you think you're getting paid to just be available 100% of the time, you're wrong. It's not healthy, right? Okay. Anything else, Megan? Did I miss anything?
That was great. That was good. Gave me some peace.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm speaking right to you and hopefully a lot of other people helping them at the same time. So, all right, everyone, go have a great Tuesday. I will see you for my Wednesday live. I'm not sure if it's Webinar Wednesday or whether it's the other one. I can't, Wellness Wednesday or whatever I called it. Oh my God, my brain, speak about boundaries, right? My brain needs a rest very soon. So, all right, everyone, happy Tuesday and I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you.